The Belcher, Overserved Underdog. Written and narrated by Luke Schmaltz. The Belcher, Overserved Underdog by Luke Schmaltz. Copyright January 1st, 2020. Published in paperback by Mutiny Press. June 6th, 2020, Denver, Colorado. All rights reserved. Chapter 1. A Rumbling Within. Earl Danners opened his gullet and poured down the fifth beer of the night. He could feel himself beginning to relax, no longer strained by the anxiety of being socially inept. He stood up, untucked his red flannel shirt from his faded blue jeans, and slumped back down over the stick. A scruffy mop of blondish-brown hair spilled over his collar, around his ears, and partially down into his face. His bangs were camouflage, or so he thought. By now, the bartenders at the Joker knew the routine. His finished beers were deliberately left in front of him like chess pieces scattered across an invisible board. As he arranged each empty bottle amongst the others, a fresh one was twisted open with a fist and placed before him without discourse or blather. Earl liked to hunker down at the end of the bar, past the elbow-shaped corner against the far wall near the broken ATM machine. He regarded each vessel before him as an ally, a silent sentinel that had played an integral role in his fleeting fulfillment. The more company he amassed onto the bar top before him, the better he felt. He was among friends at last, and tonight was turning out to be quite a party. The bar was alive with activity, as several dozen people crowded up against a long curving length of wood and mashed in among one another, ignoring an empty dance floor a few feet away that was the sole witness to Jimmy Sensitive and the Bedwetters as they slogged through their last song of hip, ironic pop music. Some were yammering so close to their friends' heads they could have reached out with their tongues and licked their earlobes. Just about everyone was yapping at once, as though this was their last moment alive to unburden themselves from some terrible secret. Drinks rose and descended, mouths opened and closed, slurred voices swirled around one another as neon light glinted off the moist luster of eyeballs and saliva-covered teeth. It was a masquerade orchestrated by chaos, the choreography of human madness with no conductor and no exemptions. Earl was perplexed by the allure of social gatherings and wondered why crowds of people attract more of the same. He was even a little happy to be part of it all, even though he was more of a spectator than a participant. He cared deeply about the well-being of others without understanding why, yet he feared other people because he knew that each could express the cruel gene of betrayal that was stamped into all human DNA. Amid the din swayed the feminine curves of a figure he had long since memorized. Rumor had it that her real name was Daphne something or other, but everybody called her Cricket. In a world of hideous threes and frumpy fours, she was easily an 11. Earl assumed she was of drinking age, maybe a few years older, but her swagger gave her a threatening air of authority. There was always a group of guys orbiting around her, strategizing like scavengers on how to get close, but none of them ever did, including Earl. He didn't dare, as he simply lacked the social skills required to make conversation with a gorgeous young woman. Her routine was always the same. She would march through the door, the sleet glimmering off her vinyl pants, leather jacket, and jet black shoulder-length hair. She would order a double shot of tequila, slam it in one gulp, leave a fat tip, and then lean there, gripping the edge of the bar, swaying side to side. The swaying would gradually diminish, and then she would freeze, wait for several moments, let out a blood-curdling scream, and then bolt out the door like a feral cat. He was 13 beers in when the unmistakable screech of a bar stool scooting across a hardwood floor pierced through the music and barroom chatter. "Get the fuck away from me, asshole!" a voice screamed. It was one of the Denver Derelicts, a fledgling motorcycle gang of fringe dwellers who were mostly too broke or incompetent to actually own a bike. The yelling continued. "I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you!" The biker was known as Roach, a menacing brute with neck tattoos.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?